you're watching Live at 5. This is my show that I do at 5 o'clock every day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on my main channel. On Fridays, we go to my second channel, Actively Unwoke, for happy hour. If you would like to subscribe to Actively Unwoke, it is in the description on whatever platform you're watching on, whether that be YouTube or Odysee or Rokfin. On Sundays, we do Effed Up News of the Week. Effed Up News is shaping up this week, man. There are already some crazy stories for Effed Up News of the Week. If you would like to see what those stories are, head over to my locals community. I do have a pinned post at the top of my locals that says Effed Up News Preview. You don't even have to be a member to see this. You can log into my locals at kb.locals.com, sign up for free. It's a way to just explore the community, see what's going on, and you can see the articles I've got on deck for Effed Up News, and there are some good ones this week, let me tell you what. But one of those articles, actually, this came from one of my locals members, because what my locals members can do, guys, is they can comment on the posts and offer suggestions for articles and things that I should cover. And this article was contributed by Naruto on locals, and he wanted me to cover it on Sunday, and I didn't get to it on Sunday because I had a whole bunch of other stuff, but I promised him I would cover it another day this week because it is kind of a funny article. Well, we're digging around with 40-year record high inflation. The Taliban is worried about having shop owners behead all mannequins. Now, if you didn't hear the news yesterday, something interesting happened yesterday. Breaking 911 reported that the Biden administration is pledging $308 million to Afghanistan in humanitarian assistance. The United States is announcing a new contribution of more than $308 million in humanitarian assistance for the people of Afghanistan. That brings total U.S. humanitarian aid in Afghanistan and for Afghan refugees in the region to nearly $782 million since October 21, and we remain the single largest donor of humanitarian aid in Afghanistan. I'm sure none of that money is going to the Taliban at all. I'm sure that's all just going to the people. I'm sure none of it is going to the overtly corrupt government that is currently ruling the country. Let's read this article from the New York Post. Taliban orders shop owners in Afghanistan to behead all mannequins. The Taliban has ordered clothes shop mannequins to be beheaded because they are idols to the brute as the brutes continue to wage war on women's freedoms. Shopkeepers in the Western Province, Herat, in Afghanistan, have been told to chop the heads off their mannequins after officials ruled the dummies were sinful idols. The worship of idols is considered a sin in Islam, which bans the worship of anything other than Allah, considered to be the only God. The harsh ruling was published this week by the Ministry for Propagation of Virtue and the Prevention of Vice in Herat. They have a ministry for the propagation of virtue and prevention of vice. That's amazing. That's amazing. The ministry initially ordered shopkeepers to remove the mannequins completely, but the shop owners hit back and said it would cause significant financial loss. The complaints prompted the guys whose name the head of the ministry, to order the mannequins be beheaded instead, according to local reports. I wonder if there's any sort of ceremony for beheading the mannequins. Do they just behead them with an axe in the middle of the store, or do they use a sword to behead the mannequins? How exactly are mannequins beheaded and in Afghanistan? I don't know. Business owner Abdul told the Italian newspaper each mannequin costs 100 or 80 or 70, and beheading them would be a huge financial loss. The Taliban have not changed. There will be restrictions once again. They have not gained international recognition, but should they obtain it, they would bring back even stricter limitations. Afghan women have faced savage crackdown on their freedoms and education since the Taliban swept into power earlier this year. Women and girls have long been warned or have long been warned that they will be the biggest potential victims of a Taliban takeover as the fighters roll back 20 years of progress. Brutal, oppressive, sexist laws enacted by the group in the 90s are being rolled back into place. Women face being offed for showing too much flesh, demanding basic human rights, having affairs, and being victims of assault. The brutes had already reportedly burned a woman after they said she served below par cooking to its members. And as the Taliban stormed across Afghanistan, it was reported their militants are already kidnapping children as young as 12. Gee, isn't everyone happy that we have sent them $782 million since October and have just sent them another $300 million in humanitarian aid? Where are all the feminists? Where are all the women who claim to be feminists screaming about what's going on in Afghanistan? By the way, guys, there are still Americans that are trapped there. We all know that, right? There are still Americans that the Biden administration trapped there. I'm telling you, I said this yesterday on the stream and I'm sticking to it. If the GOP retakes Congress and they do not impeach Joe Biden, they are not doing their flipping jobs. I'm sticking by it.